It's that time, the end of August, and the lavender, which has flowered all summer really, is coming to the end of its flowering season. And this is the time when gardeners have to be brave, and you take your heart and your secateurs in both hands and you start hacking. Let me show you why. The reason we're going to be brave with our secateurs is because as a negligent gardener I let my lavender run to seed and it's too late to cut it back and get it to flower again. If I'd cut it dead-headed at the end of June, it would be in full flower again now. The reason we cut back hard is, if I can open up this plant and show you, is there are these little green growths down at the bottom of the plant which are trying to get to the daylight. So what we're going to do is take the top and the sides off the plant now, and I will show you the rule of 3/8. So the rule of 3/8 is in the 8th month, that's August, which is where we are, you're going to reduce the height of your lavender hedge to 8 inches and you're going to reduce its width to 8 inches. Marked off the same height on a cane so you can see more clearly what follows. See the mark hopefully clearly. I'm going to put down to soil level and just in a touch, so the mark is roughly 8 inches above ground level. I'm going to cut a slot through the top of the hedge. I'm doing this with secateurs. Normally you would use hedge trimmers or shears, and that's sort of at the 8-inch mark. There we go. And then I move the cane down the hedge a bit and I stick it into the ground as before, so just so it stands upright and you can see the mark. There it is. And I'm going to do exactly the same again and cut the slot. So now I've got 2 slots in the hedge. There's one, and if I come up the hedge, here's another one. I'm going to join those 2 together so the whole of this section will be at 8 inches tall. I'm not going to film the whole thing because it'll bore you, but I'm keeping my eye on the slot that I'm aiming towards, that I cut slot number 2, so that even though this may not be absolutely precise, I'm going to join them up. Trim my little section. You can see a raggedy bit at one end, a raggedy bit at the other end. Now, in real life, of course, you're going to have to do this for the whole hedge. So the next bit is to take it back down to 8 inches wide. I've got my trusty measuring stick, and this is a bit of judgment really. Hedges grow roughly evenly on either side, so I'm going to kind of trim to the edge of the stick. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut a slot at one end, but this time going down, and then I'm going to get to the other end and I'm going to cut a slot there. And if I'm doing a whole hedge, by the way, these slots, if you use the technique, cut sort of about 1 every metre, something like that. It's quite easy to join up then. Just seen from above. I've cut a slot here where my finger is. In there you can see that the hedge has gone in. I've cut 1 slot there, and then I've cut another one here. That's with my finger there. And I'm now going to cut along the edge of the hedge like that on one side, and then on the other side I'm going to do the same thing. Join them up, and I should have something that's roughly square in shape, cross section, 8 inches high and 8 inches wide. Here's the raggedy hedge. Suddenly you see this nicely clipped little bit. It's only about 30 centimetres long, just for the video, and then it goes raggedy again. So you can see that the top's been taken off and that the sides have been taken off on both sides. And the reason that we do this, as explained at the outset, is when you cut down the side of the hedge like that, down here, these little growths, you can see little green growths. There's one there, okay. Those suddenly see the light. They're going to grow this year. They're going to put on an appreciable amount of growth. You can easily see, 2 or 3 inches. They're going to harden off as winter comes. If there's a frost, they'll get through the frost, and they're going to be full of flower bud in a nice tight bush for next spring.